Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating, maybe a bit unexpected corner of historical medical knowledge.
We are.
We've got excerpts from William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica, massive book.
Huge, yeah.
And we're focusing on something called Badiaga, which, get this, is actually a freshwater sponge.
That's right, a sponge. Seems unusual, maybe, but the observations are incredibly detailed.
Exactly. So our mission really is to unpack the distinctive properties they attributed to it, see what this tells us about, this whole approach to healing.
And what's so striking is just how specific they are. It gives you a real window into their way of thinking, their empirical method. You get these really precise symptom pictures.
Okay, let's jump right in then.
Yeah.
Straight away, the source highlights this pervasive soreness, muscles, skin,
Right.
described as worse motion and friction of clothes,
Yep.
and also a definite sensitiveness to cold.
Mm-hmm. Very clear triggers there.
It also notes things like general paresis, sort of muscular weakness, swollen glands, and even links to conditions like Bestow's disease, that's thyroid,
Yeah.
luz, syphilis,
Right.
bubo, so swollen lymph nodes, and rashes like roseola. Quite a range.
It is, and that description really sets the stage, doesn't it? Emphasizing reactions to movement, temperature. Those are key modalities in this system.
Modalities, right, like what makes things better or worse.
Exactly. Cold, heat, motion, time of day. It's central to building that unique symptom picture for the remedy. And, it makes you wonder how they got so specific with the sponge.
It really does. And it gets, even more interesting when you look at the head symptom.
Oh, yeah.
Sensations of enlargement and fullness, pain in the forehead, temples, extending to eyeballs, and specifically worse in the afternoon.
Wow, that precise timing again.
Yeah, there's more blueness under eyes, even dandruff, with a sore, dry scalp.
Huh, dandruff. Okay.
Then in the respiratory system, a common cold, of course, Shiza, with sneezing, watery discharge. But often it says with asthmatic breathing, a suffocative cough.
And you mentioned a detail earlier that really stands out. Something about sounds.
Oh, right, yeah, it notes slight sounds are greatly accentuated, like a heightened sense,
That points to a very specific nervous system state, potentially.
And maybe the most memorable respiratory bit, this is quite graphic.
Go on.
During coughing, particularly whooping cough, the mucus flies out of mouth and nostril
Flies out. Okay, that's vivid.
with thick yellow expectoration. It's jarring, yeah, but it shows how they captured everything, even the really peculiar details. Those were apparently key clues.
Absolutely. The totality of symptoms, especially the strange, rare, and peculiar ones, that was the goal. It wasn't just cough, it was that specific kind of cough.
So, moving on through the body, the specificity just keeps coming. We find twitching of the left upper lid
Left side specifically.
and an intermittent sore pain in the eyeball. Come on at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. again. Interesting.
The stomach could have a hot mouth, lots of thirst, and a lancet-eating pain, like a sharp shooting pain from the pit of the stomach right through to the back, the vertebra, and shoulder blade.
Incredible location details. And you see this pattern, right? Specific time, specific location, specific sensations.
Definitely. For females, it mentions metrorrhagia, abnormal bleeding, worse at night, with feeling of enlargement of head.
Worse at night, another modality, and that odd head sensation linked to it.
It even notes cancer of breast, and for the heart, an indescribable bad feeling, with soreness and pain, flying stitches all over.
Indescribable bad feeling. Sometimes the descriptions capture that vagueness too, but often paired with specifics like those flying stitches, it shows the range they thought this remedy covered.
Right, in the skin. Described simply as sore to touch. Also, observations of freckles and regades. That's like chapter, cracked skin.
Sore to touch fits with that general soreness theme we saw earlier.
It does. And the back. Stitches in nape, scapulae, so neck, shoulder blades again. And this strong sense of muscles and skin being sore, as if beaten.
As if beaten, that's a common type of description you find, comparing the sensation.
Especially says in the lower back, hips, lower limbs. And a very stiff neck.
So it paints a clear picture, doesn't it? Deep, aching soreness, made worse by external things.
And the modalities really lock it in.
Exactly. Symptoms consistently worse by cold and better by heat. That's a really clear distinction. If someone presented with that kind of pattern, maybe Badiaga would come to mind in this system.
And it notes relationships with other substances. So mercury, but with opposite modalities. Interesting, like spongia, another sponge remedy.
Makes sense.
And even sulfur. And the dose, 1st to 6th attenuation, which refers to those highly diluted preparations they use.
Right, the specific potencies.
So wrapping this up,
Yeah.
What can you, the listener, take away from this deep dive into Badiaga? I mean, it really highlights the incredibly specific, almost poetic observation style of these old materia medicus.
Yeah, poetic is a good word for some of it.
From mucus that flies out to muscles sore as if beaten. It's just a testament to a system built on these super detailed symptom pictures. Every little thing was a clue.
And that kind of detailed mapping really makes you think about how different systems approach the body. It's not just what a substance does in general, but the very unique individual way its effects show up. It really forces attention onto the patient's specific experience.
Absolutely. That focus on the individual's unique expression of symptoms,
Yeah.
that's really the heart of it, isn't it?
It seems to be.
It leaves you with a thought, maybe. How might these, well, historical methods of really meticulous observation, even for a simple freshwater sponge, how might they still spark curiosity? Or maybe even inform how we think about wellness and the human experience today, even with all our science?
That's a great question to ponder. How different ways of knowing can coexist or inform each other.
Something to mull over until our next deep dive.